Oh, hey, I guess I got this thing and it'll be perfect for when I go to Japan. Uh, Whoa! How is everybody? Don't worry, the memes will continue. I got everything. Hello everyone. This is NPR Radio. I am your untriggering host with contact lenses wearing host. So, I've been listening to old ass talk radio. I've been listening to talk radio for 20 years. Yeah. I was one of those weird kids as a small boy that enjoyed the talk radio because we have here in Los Angeles, we have KFI AM 640, more stimulating talk radio, and that's been the brunt of it. There's other ones, but they suck compared to it. They absolutely suck. There's K Talk AM 1150, and that's terrible. And then there's KPFK, which is terrible, which is like a bunch of liberal bullshit. I didn't even know that they had a talk radio station on FM, KPFK. I had no idea. I don't even know their number. I don't know what they are on the dial. But the only reason I know they even exist is because my dad guy, whatever you call him, he had a radio for some reason. It would only get FM in his room when he's fucking around in his survival barricade or whatever. So he'd be playing fucking FM radio all the time. Up where I grew up, there's weird shit. There's all kinds of problems. I grew up in the hills of South Los Angeles. If you know Los Angeles, there's one hill in South Los Angeles. Two, there's Signal Hill. And then that's in Long Beach. And then in the South Bay by the beach, next to Redondo Beach, is the Palos Verdes Peninsula, and that's where I grew up there in the hills. And so, notoriously, especially when I was a kid, cell phones were just terrible, just really bad. And radio as well sometimes, radio wasn't that big of a problem. But for some reason, in his part of the hill, that was a big problem. He couldn't get it. So he'd listen to the communist radio. Terrible, right? Like, can you imagine like low budget, like worse, like insanely shitty NPR, like LA talk radio, like, oh my God. I can't even imagine what a dump the place must be, You never hear about them. You never hear about any of the hosts on K-Talk. But pretty much AM 640 dominates the ratings, and there's a reason why. They've always had the better hosts. They've had these same fuckers on there forever for the morning and afternoon drive. The same guys there. They have John and Ken, and then they have Bill Handel in the morning, and he's this crazy fucking hilarious, like, Jewish lawyer dude, and he's really hilarious, and he hates everything, and he doesn't believe in God, and he's just a cynical, hilarious bastard. And I can't fucking believe that they've had this guy in the morning for so long. Like, you're on your morning commute, and this guy is the one you're listening to. But we listened to him, like, even when I was going to school with my mom. We'd put him on because he's fucking funny. But he wears on you over the years and years. It's like, dude, we get it. We get your shtick. It's probably played up on the radio. You know how it is. Or maybe you don't, I don't know. But on the radio, you got to play up your persona, People either play a total character or they, they'll be themselves but ham it up a little. Be their funniest selves. Here, I got an idea. Remember, guys, this is communist quality here. We gotta look professional. Here. Let's see. Fable. Let's try a stack of Fable and shit. Alright, the mic is there. And now for the fullness of the memes, don't worry. We have the Diet Pop, the Kroger Pop. We got the milk, bro. Don't worry. We got plenty of milk. Now, I'll keep on the talk radio for this segment, but because it's a subject that's dear to me. As you can see, this is what's going on right now, given to a limited audience. But at least I'm not talking into the void, you know? There's guys out there talking into the void. God, it sucks. I've been there. I'm still there. But I'm like, you know, like imagine the spectrum. I'm like, burp, like, burp. I have a bunch of nerds that, for some reason, think what I'm saying is interesting. Shit. Dude, I just spilled jizzy milk everywhere. You like that? My question is, have you guys been doing your push-ups? And have you been drinking your gallon of milk? That's an experiment I should do. 6 weeks, 6-week program. 200 push-ups a day. No squats, no nothing. Let's see. I got an idea. 200 push-ups a day. And like recreational fitness is okay. Like you can go to play sports ball with the boys, you know? You can play sports ball at the boys. If you're like a swimmer, go swimming. If you're a cyclist, go cyclist. But just like drink a gallon of milk and eat a ton of food. Just keep doing push-ups. Man, that sounds like a really bad idea. But you guys know I like really stupid things. And I like making mistakes because I think it's funny. And you gotta try things. You know, look at the old school days of powerlifting. Those guys slamming weights on the bar. They didn't know what was going to happen, dude. Some dude says, dude, I'm going to deadlift 600 pounds. It's like, oh, you're crazy. And now that's like baseline elite lifting. You know, but remember, it's all relative. Those handful of guys that you do see that deadlift a million pounds, you know, like 800 pounds, 700 pound plus deadlifter, puller, conventional, you know, those are few and far between. Anyone involved in this iron game knows that we're actually a bunch of weirdos, you know. We're these weird, look at me. I'm a basement dweller lifter, you know. I'm one of those guys. Fucking like washed up strength coach type dudes like before they're even started. You know, just fucking disaster. So talk radio. The act is sort of played out, you know. So even on the best talk radio station, after all these years, they've had Tim Conway Jr. on there for 12 years. And he's really great. He's their best guy. They have him on at 7 o'clock, 7 to 10. And his is more jokey and more fun. But sometimes they cover current events, and it's like, why? Why are you... who cares? And by covering current events, I don't mean like having fun with it. I mean like they'll actually cover a news story if it's big enough after 7 o'clock, which is stupid. Go to fucking Twitter to see what the fucking news is after 7 o'clock. Put on Fox News. Put on news, whatever fucking 24-hour bullshit you want to do. Or open up your Facebook feed. You'll find out what's going on. They don't need to... Talk radio does not need to have, especially after 7 o'clock, segments about current events. And if you do, you should be mocking it. You should be mocking everyone involved in all the current events. Making fun of everybody. So there you go. The cream of the crop sucks. So that's not good. But luckily, throughout the years, we have... I mean, you had Howard Stern. You know, we can talk syndicated radio here. Alex Jones is still great, but you'll have an existential crisis watching him, so I don't watch him anymore. And Howard Stern sucks, and there's many words I could use, but let's just, honk honk. Anyway, so O&A Party Rock, they were the best. Those were the good old days. And I thought they would never end, And it feels like they've been gone longer than they have. They've only been gone 7 years. But it feels like 3 million years. And they had that 20-plus year career together. Really, I've been talking about this in business practice. People they say all the partnerships fail. When? When do they fail? That's my huge question. People consider Opie and Anthony to be like a failed partnership. That's crazy. They're a perfect example. You think because they aren't together anymore that they failed? Like, okay, how old are they? They're both almost 60 years old now. They're both in their mid to late 50s, right? And how long did the partnership last? It lasted 20 plus years. And how much fucking money do they make? Well, Opie has an apartment on the 3-bedroom apartment in Manhattan, and he's got a place on Long Island, I'm pretty sure, on the beach. And everyone knows that knows the show. Anthony has an enormous house that they call the fucking compound that he very, very generously uses. Like, his house is practically a public place. He literally has ran parties there, and there's always people there. He said over the years there's people there he doesn't even know. There'll be a party last night, and then he'll come out and he'll be like, hey, and then there's just dudes wandering around, he doesn't even know them. He's like, man, like, he gets it. Any of you guys out there that want to get rich, you got to look at him as an example. He went full MGTOW. But he also doesn't sit alone in that empty house, this big palace. He has huge parties. And if there's not parties, there's always friends of his kicking back. Random fans will just show up at his house and he invites them in for a beer. Genuine crazy person, And, man, that sounds like a lot of fun to me, fellas. Because you hear these celebrities miserable, and you see them at their house staring at their pool, just kind of like, I'm sure they have parties, but it's probably boring Hollywood parties. Like, these are comedians, Some of these guys are in movies and shit, but most of them are just fucking goober robe comics that come on the show. Talk radio. That was the greatest show ever. And, obviously they have their own things going on. And I'm not sure how big Compound Media is. Their YouTube presence has never grown very much, even in 7 years. But at the same time, most of his content is behind a paywall anyway. So I'd imagine all those rabid O&A fans shelled out $6 to watch Anthony. Because his is the real show, Opie, he did all right. He had the people coming in and Bob Kelly and all the old people, but it's not the same, It's not the same energy. But then they did a couple shows together. Years ago, they did a couple shows together where it was Open Anth again and the guys. And I hope they can reconcile and stop being silly, because it seems obvious that they're still energetic guys. It seems obvious that they're both in their mid to late 50s, but they're still ambitious. Like, they still enjoy their work. And, these are the kind of guys that'll probably want to do radio for 15 more years or more, These are the kind of guys that'll probably never stop broadcasting. They're lifelong broadcasters. So I think them getting back together is not out of the cards. I think they should do it even for the money, listen to me, Mr. Moral, right? Put it aside and make that money. All right, that's 15 minutes.